Oh, we're in video now.
Hi, welcome to Between the Covers podcast. I'm your hostess, Ophelia. No, I'm not.
And I'm your host,
I was looking at Ophelia.
Next. Not next.
Bitch, say my name right.
I'm Nyx, and she's Ophelia.
Yeah.
And this is Covers the Between podcast. Scorch, I really think we should see ourselves. If you could move over for a second. We just need to
No,
line
we don't.
up.
I don't.
Okay. Wow, you're looking pale tonight.
Thanks, girl.
All right. And this is where we read romance novels and
then we review them.
And
they're usually really bad.
I think they're mostly bad.
Yeah, but this one's not as bad as the last one we read.
So before I tell you what we're reading, I'm going to tell you how I found it.
Okay. Tell us the story.
I was in a quaint little used bookstore on an island where there's only like 3 stores. And there's a huge romance section relative to the rest of the other sections.
Of course there is. You're on a tiny island somewhere.
I looked through it for a bit, and I found one called Saxon that looked good. And I opened it up, and I was like, this language is not a 6th grade level, so I put it back. And then I finally found...
Wait, who's it by? So I can read it on my free
I'll
time.
figure it out when I see the cover again.
Okay.
So... Oh, and there was a character called Ranulph, which we already had a character called Ranulph, so that's why I didn't pick it up. So I looked and looked. Find this book. No price tag on it. Not there. There's an old price tag.
Right.
But
did you do
theirs.
the like, oh, must be free, haha thing, and then
we'll get to that. So I went up front. There's this little old lady at the register. That's not really a register. It's just kind of sitting. It's a little tiny
desk?
shop. It's like not even. It's like
a
chair,
bookshelf. A bookshelf.
She's got it sitting at a bookshelf.
Okay.
So I said, here, and she's like, looking at it, there's no tag on it. Where'd you find this? And I said, in the romance section. And she said, oh, we don't like the romance section here. And I was like, that's fine. I'm going to rip it apart anyway. So here, check out my podcast, Between the Covers podcast. And there's this old man hanging out there. And he's like, oh, what's it called? And I was like, Between the Covers podcast. He's like, all right, I'm going to check it out. Wait, is it on Apple Podcast? So yeah. So I told him, yeah. And so she was like, all right, how about 50 cents? And I said, all right, fine. And then I looked through all my pockets, and I looked through my wallet, and I didn't have 50 cents. I had 20s. So I handed her a 20, and she goes, all right, $1. So I was like, and then, so I gave her the 20, and then she started counting her change. She didn't have enough change for a 20.
Oh, my God.
So the old man that was hanging out there gave her $1, walked right out. Gave her $1, walked out, said, here you go.
Oh.
So then I got this free. Nerd in Shining
I'm just going to move this back a little bit.
By Vicki Thompson.
Did you do any research?
Well, there's an about the author in
Can
the
I read
book.
it?
Sure.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's find out. Let's learn about Vicki. Oh, Jesus. This is already terrible. All right. About the author. Essentially a wuss, Vicki Thompson stumbled upon a career in fiction because her first 2 choices, high school English teacher and journalist, rivaled Fear Factor.
I'm so glad she's not a high school English teacher.
Now, instead of trying to rescue a dangling participle or cover a skydiving event from the open door of a plane, she sits in her cozy office and lets her characters take all the risks. She lives with her husband in Arizona, a place with fewer natural disasters than almost anywhere else in the world. Well, okay, she did come upon a rattlesnake in the backyard not long ago, which means she now spends more time in her cozy office and less time in the backyard. I wouldn't want my picture anywhere for anyone to see if that was the public description of me as a human being. Just saying.
She should have maybe researched becoming an English teacher, and maybe she'd be a better writer. This is definitely a 6th grade level.
I told Scorch this. This book was written, it reads like it was written by a 6th grader in fucking Florida. Like, it tries so hard to be Southern. Just like all of the ridiculous, like...
Oh, I took my coon dog down to the creek.
You're
and,
squealing more.
Rufus,
That was, he's like, you're squealing more in a pup. It's got his nose stuck in a knothole. And you're like, what? Excuse me?
Kiss my grits.
Oh my
I don't even own shoes.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
Yeah, I highlighted quite a few of them. And then I realized that if I continued to highlight them, the entire book would just be like a whole bunch of highlights.
I've never even been to the South, so I don't even know if I'm doing this right.
Girl. Please. Yeah, so do you want to summarize it? Do you want me to summarize it?
I'll summarize it.
Okay.
So, Genevieve. It's not Genevieve. It's Genevieve. Genevieve.
Yeah.
So Genevieve Terrence is
That's how you spell
a
Genevieve.
secretary at Rainbow Corporation, some arbitrary company. You don't know what they do.
Rainbow Corporation.
Jack Farley? Mm-hmm. Jack Farley is an awkward, tall computer programmer with color blindness.
Gangly.
Yeah, but not really. He looks gangly. Based on
Right, but he's
he can't
secretly
dress himself.
ripped.
Right, because all he does is work out and computer program.
And play video games at
right.
3 a.m.
Yep. So he's very forgetful as well. But anyway, he is another coworker of hers. And then there's Nick Brogan, who's the...
Such a hotshot action hero prototype.
Yeah, he's always taking his secretaries on his private flight, his plane that he flies, the Sky King.
Yep.
Takes it across to Maui from the other little island, whatever they're on. I don't even know. I don't know much about Hawaii, but...
Scorch knows plenty about Hawaii.
Huh?
Is it Hawaii?
Hawaii?
I'm sorry. Really?
So-
That's what you're going to contribute to the podcast?
I'm pretty sure that's how the natives pronounce it. I'm pretty sure it's Hawaii.
Hawaii? Okay, so he takes...
That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, you're too white.
They're part of our country. They're U.S. territory. I can say whatever I want.
That
So-
sounds like white privilege.
We colonized them. Now
What
we
if we
could
did
say
like
Hawaii.
what if we did like a reveal and we were like, this is actually the Shit Talking Cunts podcast?
You guys both fucking masks off. Just me and Eric there, and then you and... Oh, that's too complex for my brain. You guys were here producing it?
The joke.
If
it was
I'm
a one-off.
producing something,
Yeah, we're
you're
in trouble.
screwed.
All right. So
anyway, so they go.
So,
They're on this flight to a meeting in Maui, and suddenly Jack pulls out a big gun.
A
that he
big, ugly
clearly-
black
an ugly,
gun.
big, ugly black gun that he clearly
'Cause I
doesn't know how to
highlighted that.
use. Holds it up and he's like, "All right, I'm jumping out. I get a parachute. Bye. You guys are screwed." Jumps out.
Yeah.
That's not the.
He like makes Jen get the parachute for him, and then he's like, "Good luck."
Oh, and she. Oh, I have a quote here. I have
Yeah.
to read this because this will show you who Jen is, about the situation.
Oh yeah.
All right, where is that? It's worth it. Give me a second. So Genevieve fought down panic. She had to make him land this plane. So she yells, "I give great blowjobs." That's the way.
If we survive, I'll pay you back. Yeah, like that.
Anyway,
Terrible.
he jumps out. Jackson Farley's there, the computer programmer.
Jack
nerd.
Farley, yeah,
He's
yeah.
a nerd. He's got glasses. He has glasses. So
He
he's
has
a nerd.
glasses, so clearly he is a nerd.
He's got his 5 o'clock shadow because he didn't
He
wake
didn't
up
have
early
time
enough
to shave, and
brush
she's
his
like
hair,
bitching
bring
about
a
it.
suitcase.
She's
Right.
like, "Wow, you would have a really nice profile, except all these cactus like bristle hairs that are coming out of your chin."
"Oh, but later it's a sexy pirate beard." All right,
I know,
well, I'm jumping
right?
ahead. Okay, so fortunately, Jack has done lots of computer simulations of plane landings, and
No. He plays Flight Simulator, but he crashes a lot in the simulator.
but he doesn't tell her.
No, he doesn't tell her that, but he's
So,
thinking it.
with all the adrenaline rushing to his brain, he's working really well, and he manages to land the plane near the water and then crash land,
in
and
the
then they
water,
jump in
yeah,
the
yeah.
water, and then they swim in shark-infested water.
He has to like tow her to land.
Yeah, she's
useless.
useless. He drags her, and she's like, "Oh, I feel bad. Oh, I feel bad. He's has to drag me. He's gonna get real tired."
Yeah,
So-
because every second they're on the island, her Tennessee accent becomes like more and
yeah,
more
she
prominent.
starts getting more and more. What's the word?
Her elocution changes.
Right. What's the word for? Well, she's a hillbilly, but she gets more and more.
Provincial?
Yeah. So it starts coming out. She
Okay.
starts talking about coon dogs.
She does.
She
Coon
talks a lot
dogs.
about coon dogs. Uncle Rufus.
She
is
says
moonshine,
tarnation a lot.
Tarnation, kiss my grits. All
Dude,
these
it's
things.
really awful because not one actual Southerner that I have spent time with in the 18 years that I lived in Alabama
sorry.
has ever fucking said tarnation.
They clearly weren't from the
seriously.
Hollow in Tennessee.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean to hit the table that hard that time. I just wanted to.
She was being emphatic.
It's
Yes. A table.
No.
Red.
Wood? It echoes more than I was like, but it's more
Resonant?
resonant, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, so now they're stranded on this papaya-laden island.
Nope. Guava.
Guavas. What?
Guavas are good.
What
and
is
they're
the
all
difference?
complaining about the guavas, and they have fresh guava juice and fresh guavas to eat.
What's the
and they're all
difference between a
starving.
guava and a papaya?
A papaya's got the gross black seeds in it, and guavas are delicious.
Thank you for that highly scientific explanation and the differentiation between
Papayas are
papayas
like
and
this.
guavas. Okay.
Kind of squash shaped. They're bigger,
Okay.
orange.
Okay.
Guavas are smaller. I don't know what color they are. I've never had a guava.
Hey, Scorch, will you look up what a guava is?
For sure.
Thanks. That's what having a producer is all about.
Yes, so things escalate from there. Oh, she finds her suitcase floating in the water.
Yep,
way out.
yep. But the snap breaks off, like the handle.
But all
snaps
she
off.
has to do is say, "Look, it's my suitcase." Jackson, who's somehow obsessed with this girl for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
She's
they've
never-
worked
he's never had a
together for,
positive
like,
interaction. So this is
a couple of
entirely based
months.
on looks.
This is what a guava looks like.
Right. It's kind of like a heart-shaped watermelon.
Oh. Okay.
They're delicious. I don't know what they're complaining about.
Cool. Well, then good to know. Is that a common fruit? Is it a fruit? It's not a melon, right?
It's got seeds in it. Oh, a melon is a fruit, but not all fruits are melons.
Right, right.
It looked like a watermelon, kind of.
I don't know. Whatever. That's really not important to. Actually,
Actually,
it's
guavas
kind of.
are pretty important in this plot.
I know.
They have to scale a cliff.
They're
and-
literally mentioned on every other page.
Yeah.
Oh, and did we mention we're on a guava filled island? There you go. Good. Good.
That's on the
good,
back
good.
and everything. So
What did you mean by a guava spear? When you looked at the picture, you said he had a guava spear.
it's for spearing guavas, or it's made out of guavas.
Yes.
It's so helpful.
And he also does not make a spear in the. Does he?
No.
I kind of glossed over a couple. And actually, I just realized I forgot to read the last 5 pages, so you're gonna have to fill me in on that. We'll get to that.
The last 5 pages were just like the typical, like, oh my God, we're saved, and like we're gonna be together, and like I love you, and
Oh, okay.
closure.
But the
blah,
whole
blah,
time,
blah.
she's like, "Oh, he's not good enough for me. He's just a nerd.
He's just a
I'm gonna
nerd."
do him a favor and kiss him and
Yeah,
do
yeah.
more with him. And I have 6
When
condoms
she,
here,
like,
so let's just use them while we're here. No one will ever have to know again, right?
Right, yeah. She's very insulting too. She's like, well,
Right.
clearly I have more practice, so you can practice on me to get better.
So
at
you can
having
get a
sex,
good
so
girlfriend.
you can
when
have a real
when we get
girlfriend.
back. And
Yeah,
then she's
yeah.
like, "Wait, I feel jealous. Why do I feel jealous? Like she's so stupid."
She's very vapid.
At least she's doing better than Annabelle,
Annabelle, that's her mother.
her mother who had her at 15.
Yeah, awful. She's also just a terrible character.
And
She's psychic.
she panicked. Yeah, she's psychic, so she panics. Oh, my daughter didn't call me within 2 hours. Let me go to see her boss, Matt,
The
Who's
silver
Nick-
fox.
Nick Brogan's partner. Yeah,
There was like an entire scene at the beginning of the book that was so unnecessary.
yeah.
It was literally just him and like the waitress, the cocktail
Oh,
waitress.
Celeste?
Yeah, who was
And he
like,
hooks up with Celeste, the 23-year-old ginger.
yeah.
She's like, "I'm going away to college in 2 weeks, so let me hook up with you,
Yeah,
and then
she's
you'll
like-
never have to see me again."
Yeah. But it was just like, I don't know. I didn't feel like that was a particularly important thing to add to the story.
It was unnecessary, but
Yeah.
he was recently divorced, and he was thinking like, "Wow, a 23-year-old likes me. Maybe a girl my age will like me."
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, look at Genevieve's mom. Is that her sister? No, wait, that's her mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
A
always
little
wanted kids,
gratuitous.
but Teresa wouldn't let me have kids. So, oh, Lincoln with your rainbow-colored hair, why don't you be my kid now? Absurd.
Yes, it was quite
Did
upsetting.
they? Boat, and then she buys a cart full of groceries
Yep.
to bring on the boat, and she cooks all these delicious meals. And Matt's thinking, "Wow, this girl's beautiful. She's cooking for me. Wow, and she's got a cute son. I totally want this, right?"
Yeah.
So, kind of works out for Annabelle and Genevieve.
Yeah, although they both like are completely stupid characters. Is this a preview for the next?
No, it's an epilogue.
This isn't an epilogue. This is
Didn't
chapter
it say
1.
epilogue? Oh, I went too far. There is an epilogue.
This is hanging by a G-string. The next book in the series.
Scorch, can you do me a favor? Can you look up Vicki Lewis Thompson's picture when we're thinking about hanging by a G-string? Because this will help.
Hanging by a G-string. God. It's coming out in late spring of 2004.
This is 2003.
What she looks like?
Yeah.
Yes.
Show everyone a picture. Hanging by a G-string right here.
Wait, I didn't get to see it.
No, he's
he's
gonna post it.
Your head's still in the way. Oh, geez. Look at that bowl cut. What is that?
She's thinking about G-strings and sexy pirates.
Oh, jeez.
Best-selling author of over 70 romance novels.
70.
Including the Sons of Chance series, the Babes on Broom series, and the Hex series. The recipient of the 2008 Romance Writers of America Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award, she has been a multiple finalist for the coveted Rita Award and is the 3-time winner of Romantic Times Magazine's Reviewer's Choice Award. Vicki lives in Arizona.
Yeah, and she's a big wuss. Purportedly.
Well, she saw a rattlesnake and never wanted to go out back again.
Tragic.
Oh. Hang on.
The South Park beach towel.
Oh my god, do you like South Park? What?
Stand by, hang on. I think our camera's just froze 1 sec.
Give me a second to read this epilogue.
Oh my god. Do you have to broadcast?
Genevieve and Jack go on a honeymoon in the island that they hooked up with.
That sounds pathetic. There's like probably some sort of psychological analysis about that and them like not being able to let go of a traumatic experience that they had.
I don't think it was very traumatic for them.
Well, that's the whole thing. Remember we Okay. So we were making fun of the way Vicki Lewis Thompson looked. While thinking about G-strings.
Oh, she wrote a story about G-strings, and then we were looking at the epilogue.
Right.
Matt
Yeah,
and Genevieve-
obviously. So the short version of the synopsis is: girl and crush get on plane with nerd. Crush jumps out. Nerd has to save the girl. They spend 2 papaya. No, wait. Not papaya.
Guavas?
Guava-soaked days in paradise, apparently.
Crush Nick constantly takes his secretaries out on
Yeah, I'm
overnight
giving a
trips and
condensed
hooks them up.
synopsis, though.
Oh, I meant to say that earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, 2 days go by. The mother freaks out, but is also kind of attracted to the boss. They find them.
The other boss.
Everybody has
The partner.
Yeah, the partner. Everyone gets rescued. They get engaged. This is a condensed version.
Wait, they get engaged? Or in the epilogue they get engaged?
They are already engaged in the epilogue. So it
I think
clearly,
they're on their honeymoon in the epilogue.
but
they're
she
honeymooning on-
only has the diamond.
Oh.
I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? They go on a
How
trip.
big's a black-eyed pea?
It's like
It's
the
the
size,
size of her
of my
dog?
nail.
That's way too much.
I wouldn't want
I would
a
not
diamond that
want
big.
a diamond at all.
Well, no, me either. Wait,
if I
you're
had
wearing
to-
diamonds. Mm.
I'm wearing
Cubic zirconium.
no plastic. It's plastic or crystal. It's not real. They're $10 from Marshalls. They're not diamonds or crystal.
You could have
cubic
just lied.
zirconia.
Nobody on who's watching the podcast would have known.
I'm just saying, for a ring that gets worn every day for the rest of your life, I don't want a diamond. It'll be in the way. A plain silver band or like not work like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't get the diamond thing, and plus it's a waste of money.
I see he's still doing a pirate accent in the
Oh, do the
epilogue.
pirate accent.
No.
Please do it.
No.
I'll do it.
Be my guest.
I already did the southern accent, which you wouldn't do.
It's this
Oh,
one
wait,
right here.
will you do a southern accent if I do this? Please, I always want
All
to
right,
hear it. I've
I'll
been waiting 4 years, 4.5, 5 years almost to hear this.
It won't be authentic. If I'm doing it reading these quotes, it won't be authentic because I don't have a hick southern accent.
It's a fire engine red I want then, lassie. Is that all he says?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, I wish I could find the other part.
Well, anyway.
The other part was better.
we can move on to the character analysis.
Are pirates Scottish?
Sometimes.
Apparently,
I don't think.
apparently he thinks pirates are Scottish.
Well, but pirates can be any ethnicity.
I just wonder why he picked that for the accent.
I don't know why he thinks that pirates have Scottish accents necessarily. I mean, they could.
I like Scottish
You guys
accents.
don't
I'm
know
not
about all
complaining.
those Scottish pirates who sail on the high seas.
I can't do Somalian.
I know, right?
We gotta get a
I am
mic
the
on him.
captain here.
Don't worry, I'll drag Sam on as a special guest sooner or later.
Yeah, we gotta get a guest.
He'll have no choice.
And you have to dress up for it too.
Him.
Now it's time to try the mascara.
Well, Joey won't let us do it.
What? Didn't I?
Well, he'll do the
Not
eyeliner.
the mascara.
Oh.
Not the mascara.
I don't know, guys don't like things in their eyes for some reason.
Yeah, what weirdos.
I'm gonna sit there like a fucking torture victim while you guys put like eyeliner on me. I'm like, don't stab me in the eye.
You clearly didn't do drama club in high school. We used to have
Oh,
to
I
have
did. I
3
did do
people,
drama club. I
one
was
on each
part of the
arm.
Production crew.
Yeah, that's when you do one on each arm, holding the guy down, and then one person does the eyeliner.
Pretty standard procedure.
Have
Yep.
sex with you? I don't get it.
No, they're gay.
Yeah.
That doesn't
But
happen.
then they get excited about it and they learn how to do their own eyeliner, and then you ask them to do your eyeliner because they're better at it than you are suddenly.
And then they're on RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's exactly how that trajectory works.
Or Broadway.
Or they get YouTube famous. These days. All right.
Just like us. Oh, wait.
I don't think like 25 weekly listeners is like.
Whoa,
really...
25? That's more than I thought.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Thank you, you 25 people. You're special.
We're
Better
really
than
killing it
0.
with, like the moms demographic.
Really?
We're
Maybe
also-
we should cater to them more. We gotta read some mommy
Who else
fetish
is reading, like,
books.
Sexed up romance novels.
Is that, you know what? I don't even want to know.
Yeah, who is the market? I was wondering, who is this for?
I
My
don't-
great grandmother used to read Harlequin romances by the
Single
pool.
guys.
No. Okay. So that's actually a really interesting question about the intended demographic.
Oh, are we just gonna have a
I
business
don't-
meeting in the middle of the podcast now, guys? Why don't we talk about that after?
Well,
We're talking
your
about
cli-
the intended demographic of
your-
the book we read this week.
your customer, your client can be who you want it to be. You
Sorry, I
make
thought
it
you
who
were
you
on
want it
the
to be.
podcast.
So, shh.
I'm gonna smack
We're
you.
we're having a business meeting.
The ladies are speaking now, Scorch.
I really, because
Kid.
my first and only interaction with a romance novel was finding it in my grandmother's downstairs
Oh,
bathroom,
honey. I'm sorry.
and it was way worse than this
Oh,
ever
yeah,
was. This
for
was when I
sure.
was 13 reading this, and it was not
Getting all hot and bothered.
this. My great grandmother was
Or
Yeah.
reading.
grandma getting all hot and bothered.
My 90-year-old great grandmother was reading Harlequin romances by the pool, and she would leave them
Well,
in the
she
downstairs
wasn't getting
bathroom.
any anymore, you know.
No,
gotta-
she was a widow. Definitely not getting any.
Yeah, so,
So-
hence the books.
Right. No, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying don't leave it around hidden in the towel closet.
Was it
in the
hidden?
downstairs.
Was it hidden?
Wanted you to
Yes,
find
it was in in the cabinet in the downstairs bathroom.
No, was it a
What were
cabinet
you
or a
running
closet?
By the
around in
pool.
there? What were you looking for in there exactly?
I was looking for dirty books, and I found them.
I just walked into my parents' library and picked one off the shelf.
My mother didn't keep those around.
Your parents had dirty books?
No, my parents had grown-up books with lots of sex in them. But they weren't like specifically romance novels.
My
They were more like gritty books about the way the world really is, and there was like rape and stuff in them.
my dad's bookcase was encyclopedias and War and Peace, and my mom's was like Charlene Harris, like vampire romances.
I don't remember. Okay, hold on. Back to the question at hand. In terms of target demographic, I would say probably vapid, sort of attractive girls. Like nerdy. Like girls who aren't.
But are married and have a couple kids already, right?
No,
I don't
no,
think a
she's
single. I don't
so
think that's for a
young.
single woman.
She's so young though. The protagonist, even if
she's
she's
20, she's my age.
yeah, but she seems like she acts way younger. Like she's younger than her actual age is.
She's
And
a slut too.
so what? That doesn't mean she's younger, and that just means that she's like having a good time. I just meant in terms of the way she responds to certain situations.
Right.
Her reactions are very
But she
young.
also had a very uneducated upbringing until she was 13 or something. She moved to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Is it really with a V sound? Hawaii? Hawaii?
Well,
How do
he's-
you know?
He's practically native himself.
Are you Hawaiian?
No, but I've been there a lot.
A lot?
Yes.
Why?
My parents were like obsessed with going to Hawaii. That was like their vacation spot.
My mom was obsessed with Disney World, so that's where I went.
That sounds horrible.
She might be watching it. No, she's not. She's definitely not.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's not horrible when you're 5 or 6. Or 12. 13. 14.
I don't want to be here
16.
anymore.
Every
Hawaii. Like,
it was 5,
Hawaii.
7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 16.
wow.
Did you get to like get high or drunk beforehand at least?
No. Oh, Benadryl on the plane because I was nervous.
Doesn't count. Not quite the high I was.
No, I've never been drunk at Disney World. That might change things.
That
And plus, they got rid of the alien ride, which was the only thing
They
worth
did?
going for.
At,
Yeah, both
Epcot?
alien rides.
at Epcot.
Oh,
No.
The one where it like escapes or something?
Yeah, that's been gone for years. They turned it into a Lilo and Stitch thing. And then there was also the alien coming down from the ceiling in the MGM Studios. It was
I
like
did
the
remember
movie
that
ride.
one. Yeah.
They got
I
rid of
remember
that,
that
too.
one. Oh, weird.
When the big oil tanker's on fire and rolls down at you, and that's
Yeah.
the scariest thing.
I remember.
Chemtrails turning the frogs gay. Oh,
Are you on mic right now?
did you see that?
Are you doing?
Alex Jones came into
He's-
the studio for a split.
He's
second.
doing Alex Jones on mic during our podcast. We're gonna have to edit this out. Scorch, edit that out.
Totally. I will 100% edit this out.
Also, try to keep in mind that this is not the shit talking covers. It's between the covers.
Remember, our demographic's a little different than yours.
Just
They may not know
just
who
a
Alex
little
Jones
bit.
is.
Well, the internet has its way. No one will ever know who Alex Jones is. Ha ha ha. All right, sorry guys.
They let him back on Twitter. All right, your turn. Your turn's up. Go ahead. Oh, we'll read some quotes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's pretty familiar with the characters already. There's Jen, the vapid secretary bitch who's kind of a hoe, but also sort of retarded. That wasn't a very good explanation of her character.
Yeah, I don't know what
know how to
genius
describe her.
computer programmer Jack
Farley.
Farley seasoner.
She's hot.
I wish I tagged
She
the part
doesn't wear
where
bras.
Vicki Lewis was talking about his computer programming, and it was clear that she's never even turned on a computer before.
She made like some sort of weird. Okay, hold on. You've got quotes. I've got quotes. Let's see. What about 2004?
I just thought this was an interesting colloquialism.
Yes,
Lincoln and Matt were still sawing logs.
that means sleeping.
Snoring?
Yeah,
Is that a thing here?
Did you not know that?
that's definitely a southern euphemism.
I
but-
understood that it meant snoring, but it's just they're sawing logs. That's how she says sleeping.
That's one that you.
Well,
That's
there's-
one that you earmarked. How
Well,
about
I was
all of
just
the
at a
ones
question
like
about it.
"Ready for a Bear" or whatever the fuck that one was?
Well,
Or what was the one about? I don't know.
oh, there's a computer joke in here.
Go
This is a
for
good
it.
one.
All right.
What's the matter, Genevieve? Nick kept his attention on Jack. Maybe you're more attached to the stir than you think. That's a little joke there. Attached. Get it? It's an email joke. He's an attachment. It took me a while to figure that out.
Can I interest you in a book burning later? We do have a
I don't
fire
believe in
pit.
censorship. However, I'm okay with burning this.
It was fucking free, whatever.
Not for that poor old
That
Man,
poor old man that you plugged our podcast to.
He knew what he was signing.
Oh, wait. So I did highlight this, which isn't a terrible thing or anything to make fun of. I just am a fan of this movie also, and so I was surprised to see it referenced. But she's describing Jack, I think, when she says he was the spitting image of Cary Grant in Bringing Up Baby, Mama's favorite movie. Have you
I've
ever
never
seen
it. I know
Bringing
who
Up
Cary
Baby?
Grant is, but I haven't seen Bring Up Baby.
Okay, we should watch it because it's fucking hilarious. It's weird. It's like one of those old timey black and white movies that,
Right, yeah.
humor was just kind of different back then. But it's still really funny because even though it's not vulgar humor, it's silly.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's
But it's funny. It's still funny.
what,
It translates
40s,
well.
50s?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not buff on that era of Hollywood or any era of Hollywood really, but I just my parents rented it once when I was a kid and we watched it and I thought it was funny, so I was interested.
38. Wow. But she's an old lady, so.
Catherine Hepburn
Yes.
Oh, okay.
and Cary Grant. Classic.
Oh, I already read the blow.
Scorched Evan made you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. It involves leopards.
Leopards or lepers?
Leopards.
The animal?
Like, wow. Yeah.
Leopards?
The one where he's like, he works as a paleontologist.
He's a paleontologist. And he's
Oh,
building
cool,
a brontosaurus.
paleontologist. All right, I'll watch it.
Okay. Well, not really. I mean, the whole bone thing.
I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was 5.
Me
I'll watch
too.
it.
Same. All right. All right. You have another quote?
Yeah, well, I was just showing how much unattractive language she had in this.
Okay.
First of all, she used the word upchuck
Yeah.
to reference vomiting.
Yeah.
Which
not-
vomiting, the amount of vomiting in here alone was disgusting. But that word is like not even fourth grade boy. would
It's
say
a
that on the
very
playground.
crude slang term.
Right. And I don't know anything about Southern slang, so you're gonna have to
Okay.
educate me on it.
Okay.
If that's like a Southern thing to say that.
Upchuck is pretty Southern, but
Okay.
it's still not like something that you would. I didn't
Put
say
in
it was
a-
exclusively
in a sexy
Southern.
Yeah,
romance.
it's not like textbook Southern.
No.
Okay.
But upchuck is commonly enough used
Yeah,
down
and-
there.
I'll tell you good Southern ones. I remember being in like
Remember which
kindergarten, first grade.
Calling it an expulsion. What?
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. Kindergarten first.
That's a good hearing. I've heard that. Oh, no, I was just gonna say. I remember kids in first grade referring to a dick as a crunch. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known what it was
All
then
the
anyway.
First grade dudes in our grade, they all called it.
You know nothing of the
Like,
crunch.
like if you hit someone in the face, you're like, ow, right my crunch. No idea.
Why
No
did it?
idea
Why did it crunch? Did you not clean the foreskin?
No. And,
All right.
And the reason I remember this is we had to draw.
Remember which podcast this
We had
is.
to draw a Johnny Appleseed.
We're allowed to
pie.
talk about foreskin on this
Yeah, well,
podcast.
It's relevant.
It is relevant.
We had some assignment where we had to draw Johnny Appleseed, and I drew him like stepping on a bug, and I wrote out like the word crunch, like the bug getting crunched, and then a bunch of the boys were like, "Oh, that's a bad word. You can't say that," and they were all freaking out about it.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yeah, they're probably serial killers.
Are you
so
done?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm done.
Anyway, time to move on with my
Oh, don't
quote.
act like I don't add to the podcast, you fucks.
You at least have to show your face. I thought we established this.
Well,
He's not wearing
unplugged-
his harness.
I unplugged that camera because I thought it was causing the problem. So.
Go on. Go with your next quote.
Well, great. Just great. Nothing beat taking a boat ride with a couple of puking psychic passengers, except having the hots for one of them and knowing he wouldn't be able to go do a damn thing about it. When he finally got his hands on Nick Brogan, his partner would have a hell of a lot to answer for. This is Matt talking about having Annabelle, Genevieve's mother,
Right.
and Lincoln, her little sister, on the boat. They're puking psychic passengers. Oh, Lincoln's really psychic. He's got his hair dyed red, white, and blue.
In honor of America.
Yep, he's very patriotic
Yeah.
and a troublemaker.
Okay, I picked this one because I thought this was just some of the least sexy language and imagery that I could have ever written in a romance novel. This she's preparing to meet up with Nick Brogan
Okay.
to get on the plane with him. So her tummy quivered in anticipation. She rubbed lotion everywhere she could reach and misted herself with cologne. Specifically cologne.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought that
pretty
was
sure
strange.
cologne is for males and perfume is for females. That's the distinction between the two. But this was like she changed her cologne every season and like do cologne this and cologne that, and it's like, but
Isn't Cologne a place?
cologne is not like champagne, where it's not champagne.
It can only be called Cologne if it's from Cologne.
Right. I don't know. Weird. So here's one. Here's an overused Southern phrase. Tarnation, Jackson, you're slower than a coon dog with a full belly.
Is that real? Or did she just...
I've
Tarnation? Who says tarnation?
Nobody says fucking tarnation.
not
This
from
isn't the
Tennessee.
Civil War anymore. I'm from Alabama. That's even more south than Tennessee. I grew up in
Tarnation?
Jefferson County. It's called Jefferson County because it's named after Jefferson Davis, who was briefly the president of the Confederate States of America.
Who
when
says
Montgomery,
tarnation?
Alabama was the capital of the Confederate
What,
States.
tarnation?
It's old
They don't say that
slang.
anymore?
It's old. Nobody says that shit anymore.
I don't know.
It's Civil War
I'm
era.
as north as... almost as north as you can get, so I don't know. Maybe they say tarnation down there in Tennessee, in the hollow, in the creek, by the creek, by the slanty porches and the
Slanty
moonshine
porches?
stills. Yeah, there's specifically a whole scene about how the porches are slanted.
Only if you
And
don't
they're
take
all
care of
barefoot.
them. It's fucking books like these that make people from the north think that people from the south are uneducated fucking backwoods hicks.
They're not?
No.
just
Shocking.
I'm just kidding.
No, I see like my music teacher in middle school
Yeah.
when he would order music from New York or like other places, the very last thing he would tell them would be where to send it. Because in his words, anybody from north of the Mason-Dixon line, when they found out that you were from Alabama, would assume that you lived in like a hovel with dirt floors and you wore rolled up overalls with bare feet and spit watermelon seeds everywhere. That's
what Vicki
exactly
Lewis
what
said
she
they are.
Right, exactly.
So we're gonna get deep.
No.
I am from the north. I grew up in the north. It is really like that. We assume that people from the south
Oh yeah, I'm
are stupid,
aware.
that
Yes.
they're backwards.
I'm very aware of
Yeah.
your prejudices.
Yeah, it's not. That's just we're told that. It still remains to this day. That's.
I mean, I'm not sure. In the South, I guess we were kind of told that,
Like, what did they say about us?
oh, that you're mean, that you have no manners at all.
Yeah, true.
That you
True.
guys
They
are
were all fucking
Rude.
right.
Don't say hi when they pass you on the street.
Oh, making
Bad
eye contact with
drivers, no
strangers
making
is
eye
absolutely
Nope.
forbidden.
So you're right. You're right about all that. It's
Yeah.
not forbidden, but it's not. Doesn't happen.
Oh no, when I first moved up here
you
from
walking
the
down the
South,
street, say, "Hey, good morning."
if I made
Hey,
eye contact
everyone."
with strangers, I would be like,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Good
And people would
morning.
look at me like I had leprosy or something. It
yeah,
was like,
yeah, that's not. We don't do that here. We don't. We don't do that.
yeah, no, it was very.
There really was a stigma
yeah.
of Southerners, but I was never exposed to any until.
First one to the beach gets a Starbucks mocha frappuccino.
I guess they still have Starbucks there.
Yeah,
They're
right.
not completely uncivilized.
We just
Oh, wait,
got a
they're in
Dunkin'
Hawaii.
Donuts in Birmingham
They're in
like 4 years
Hawaii.
ago.
Well,
Actually,
Dunkin' Donuts is more of a New England.
I read about Dunkin' Donuts in the Animorphs books when I was in second grade, and I
Really?
thought it was a fake place.
It was in Animorphs?
Yeah, I didn't
was scared
think
of the
I
cover,
thought.
so I wouldn't read them. I remember exactly where they were in the library, and I think I may have read one or two in first grade.
What? You can say. Yeah. Oh my God,
I'm
the Animorphs
sorry,
books
I
are
was
fucking
reading
rad.
Series of unfortunate events instead. That might be a
I
little
didn't.
after your time.
That was a little after my time.
yeah.
I only continued to read the Animorphs books out of a sense of nostalgia. They
No,
were
I understand
far
that. That's
under
why
my
I finished
reading
Harry
level,
Potter.
but they were funny. Yeah, for sure. But yeah,
There were some really gross covers, like these horses turning into people, and
that's the whole point of the series. They're humans that morph into animals.
I know.
Hence,
but I didn't like it. I
Animorphs.
didn't like it.
You're a fan of sci-fi. You can't be this many
But it was
contradictions in one.
freaky.
Shifter rope.
I
Yeah. Oh my God! Wait,
we
has
didn't
this?
read that because we like it, okay?
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
And if you keep wanting to add to this, here you take. The
We do have
microphone.
another mic down there.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's gonna be
All you
quiet.
need to do is just ask to come on. We have an all black minimum dress code here. You gotta dress up.
I literally thought you were going somewhere else with that. I was like, none of us are black. Everybody's kicked off the podcast.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
Or no, sorry.
Apple's not gonna like it.
Apple doesn't
Are we
listen
on
to our
Stitcher?
shit. What?
Are we on Stitcher?
Scorch.
Storch.
Storch.
Storch, are we on Skitcher? I just got a Skitcher premium trial the other day.
I don't believe we are. I haven't even got it to work for my podcast yet.
Well, that's clearly more important.
Pulling, like, 2 episodes.
Well, there's this old podcast I used to listen to in high school, and they just released a new season after like 5 or 6 years, and it was only on Stitcher Premium, so I got a trial. It's like an RSS feed.
Thank you. Thanks for explaining that. I knew what that was. I was making that face at the fact that you listened to podcasts in high school.
I did, yeah. It was around. I'm only a couple years younger.
How old are you?
26.
I don't know. I don't think that was like very popular when I was in high school.
I think it might have started in 2008, that podcast.
That's the year after I graduated from high school.
I was a sophomore or junior at that point.
Oh, jeez.
You'd be a sophomore.
Come on, it's only a couple of years. It's minimal. I won't ask how old you are. All right, this is the
Oh my
one
God,
line
that was
that
all whiskey.
I actually like this line. He'd forget her. This is her thinking about Jack. He'd
Okay.
forget her when he was able to return to his true love, computers, and she'd be left hanging like a ham in the smokehouse.
That's really not a flattering way to describe yourself at all. Well, she does get... There was that one where she said, I'm as dizzy as if I'd been inhaling fumes from Uncle Rufus's sill.
Uncle
Still.
Rufus. Uncle Rufus and his coon dogs
His
and
coon
his
dogs.
handsy hands and his... Oh, wait.
Wow,
Didn't you
apparently
mention that?
Uncle Rufus and his wandering hands, the friggin' pedophile.
Well, at least out in Hawaii, they play video games instead of getting 13-year-olds pregnant, like in The Hollow. That's
true.
actually a line I have.
Yeah,
tagged
yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
here.
That is definitely something that was said. I really struggled with a lot of the old Hollywood comparisons because I don't know anything about old Hollywood. Like, from sort of kind of watching drag shit, some of them reference like that style of
Do they love
fashion.
Judy Garland.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a name that
that's a
comes
thing.
up a lot.
Yeah.
I guess. Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli, isn't she in
Don't ask.
Arrested Development?
I have no idea. Oh, wait. Is she the one who's dating?
She's Lucille
She's
too.
dating
Buster.
Buster.
Yep,
Yeah,
Lucille too.
Lucille too. That's Liza Minnelli.
I think so, and that's Elvis Presley's daughter, isn't it?
Elvis Presley's daughter?
Is it?
No, she's
Someone
Judy
look this up.
Garland's daughter.
Judy Garland's daughter. One of their daughters.
Not Elvis Presley.
Oh, that's Lisa
Oh,
Marie
Elvis was supposed to be in True Blood. Sorry.
Elvis was in True Blood?
Well, he's in the books.
Isn't Elvis mentioned in here too? Elvis's
Yes,
underwear!
yes,
The king's
Elvis's underwear. The
So-
lucky underwear.
So Grandma Hick.
Yep.
What's her name? Grandma
I don't know. It's
something.
at the very. It's literally the first page of the book.
Annabelle, who's
Ever
Genevieve's
since
mother.
Genevieve's Terrence's mama had inherited a pair of Elvis's jockey shorts, Genevieve had been a big believer in luck. That's
So-
literally the first sentence of the book.
Her grandmother, Granny, whatever last name there is.
Neville.
Granny Neville.
Which
Was
is funny
about to
because the
hook up-
Neville. Oh, sorry.
She was about to hook up with Elvis. And Elvis had notches in his underwear with his name written on it
Mm-hmm.
instead of in his bedpost because his mama would see or something.
Right, right.
He got caught by her husband before anything had happened, ran out and left his undies behind.
His jockeys.
His jockeys. So eventually his jockeys got... and at one point, Genevieve was wondering, like, I wonder what Jack wears. Does he wear jockeys? Does he wear Hanes, Fruit of the Loom? What does he wear? Is he like the king and wearing jockeys? So they sold it for a ton of money, enough money to buy plane tickets to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Kawaii.
No, that's. I'm not gonna do it. It's kawaii.
Kawaii.
Thank you. Get it
We're
right.
gonna get in trouble.
Why are we gonna get in trouble? Listen, there's nothing wrong with appreciating another culture's pronunciations.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I know you do. Okay. Do you have any relationship advice for Jen?
Genevieve, go back to school.
Go
Or
back
go
to school. Go to
in the
school.
first place.
Get educated.
Like your
Stop
little
talking like a
brother-
hick.
Lincoln, who's super smart,
I don't
at
think
Gin
she's
Rummy,
super smart though.
but she's not.
Yeah.
She needs, maybe she should just talk to Lincoln more and learn some of his gin rummy tricks.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what gin rummy is. Is that like poker?
No.
Okay, I'm from the north. I don't know gin rummy. I'm sorry. Who's from the north that knows gin rummy? Raise your hand.
I mean, I don't know what gin rummy is, but it's not because I'm from the north.
All right.
Why
Well, you
is
don't
it?
know either, and you're
Gin
from the
rummies
north.
Who live here, but like
Are you from the north?
Of course.
He's from.
Well, I'm from Seattle.
Do you know gin rummy?
Yes, was born
You're from Seattle. Okay, that doesn't count.
Well, no. But where have you spent the majority of your?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. His formative years were spent in the north.
Anyway, I forget what we were talking about.
Gin rummy. It's a tile game, or you can play.
Tile game. I thought it was card game.
You can play
I
with
really don't know
cards.
what it is, do I?
What's a card?
Do you know what it is?
You can play with cards or tiles.
I mean, like I don't know how to
I've
play
never
it.
seen the tiles.
I've seen.
Well, the
I've
two-
seen it before.
Wait, hold on.
were
Okay.
you born in
Do
the
you
north?
know
I know what. Yeah.
Ophelia? Focus on me. Do you know how to play Trash Train Dominoes?
What is it? Dominoes?
Trash Train Dominoes.
Trash train No, I don't even know how to play regular dominoes. I know how to stack them up and then not drop them, and then you press them all, and then they make.
Have you heard? Has anybody in this room heard of Trash Train Dominoes? No. Okay. You fucking plebes. All right. Anyway.
Northerners?
Yeah. Not Southerners.
No, we're not.
So, really go back to school is your advice for Genevieve?
Genevieve, you need an education. At least a little bit. Something.
She needs to not be like at the mercy of her looks for the
She's
rest of her
so
life.
vapid.
She is. She's
She
very
is.
shallow.
She's so dense.
She just doesn't care about like the right things.
Right. And she's trying to reject Jackson on the grounds that she'll send him to the grocery store to get milk and bread, and he'll come home with a case of Coke and a package of gummy bears. And
Yeah.
then he'll be hours late because he'll forget he was supposed to bring them home.
Right.
And that's why she's like,
Hold
oh,
on.
he won't
I have
make a
that
good
quote. I
husband
have that
because-
quote.
Yeah.
I have that quote because somebody sent it to me. Wondering if he'd be husband material. Try asking him to bring home a carton of milk and a loaf of bread from the store and see what you'd get. Probably a case of Coke and a package of gummy bears. Even those would arrive hours late because he wouldn't even remember to come home in the first place.
Right. I was pretty spot on with that.
You were. It was pretty funny. Jackson, I would advise to like stop being so antisocial and go out and meet like people somewhere other than your workplace.
Jackson needs to tuck in his shirt or find one that fits him properly. Go to the big and tall section. He's like 6'5" or something, right?
They're
He's
always
super tall.
so fucking tall. Haven't you ever noticed there's never been like a normal height male protagonist in any of the stories that we've read?
Let's find a book that has a 5.
Let's find
8,
a book
5,
about
7.
dwarves.
Yes.
No.
That could be yours.
Oh no, I'm not.
I
Wait,
watched
hold
a
on, hold on.
documentary
Time out,
on
time out.
dwarves recently.
Are we talking about like little people? Or are we talking about like dwarves?
No, like one in Game of Thrones. Where
Like
he's like he's a
Tyrion
movie
Lannister.
like he's a movie star, but he's just happens to be a dwarf, right? Like those kind of dwarves.
It's little people. That's
Well,
what they
they're-
want to be called.
It's a
That
real
was such a terrible way to describe. You described both scenarios there.
maybe good looking face, normal face, but little arms and little legs.
Modern day, or is it a fucking bearded guy wielding a weapon? That's
What?
what she's asking.
I'm asking if you mean the context of today's world or like a Lord of the Rings dwarf.
Jason Weeman or
Oh,
Gimli?
a Lord of the Rings dwarf. That's what you mean. But they're still little people.
No, they're not. They're different.
Well, they're different. They're
Structurally,
not,
they're
not
different.
elves. They're not man. They're their own thing. They're They're greedy.
They're
they
not
like
just
their gold
deformed
and their
humans.
jewels, and they do mining, and they live in
I'm
mountains.
sorry,
and they live
deformed
deep,
was a harsh
deep
word to
underground, but
use.
somehow the orcs can still easily take them
Genetically
over. The ones that
I still don't know if we're talking about
the mithril miners or the actual illness where people have dwarfism.
It's not an illness. You can't catch dwarfism.
You can pass it on hereditarily. I don't get what's so funny here.
God, Ophelia, I just want to remind you this is a SDC podcast.
I don't understand what's happening here. I'm talking about the kings under the mountain.
I fucking Scorch. I hate
But do you mean
you.
Khazad-dûm or
I
like
think I missed
Coal
something.
Khazad-dûm
Khazad-dûm?
or Malibu.
No, they don't live in Khazad-dûm.
They did.
Wait, which one's Khazad-dûm?
Khazad-dûm is part of
It's the
Moria.
bridge in Moria.
Oh,
you
it's the
fucking
Mori.
idiot.
It's the bridge. Shut up. Okay. All right.
Oh Jesus.
Is that the one the Balrog falls off?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know what I'm talking
Balrog
about.
is
Okay, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're talking to little people.
No, I'm not
I
writing a
watched a
love story
document-
about little people.
I watched a
That's the
documentary on
bottom line.
dwarves recently.
I don't. What kind of
Some of them
dwarves?
have-
Which dwarves?
Dwarfism is an illness. It's what the little lollipop guilds and the
honey,
Wizard of Oz are made out of.
honey. For
I'm
all
talking about the
into,
lollipop guild.
just say little people because that's what they prefer to be called.
No,
And that's how we're distinguishing between little people and fantasy
Am I gonna
dwarves.
get us in trouble with Apple? What did you say?
Nothing that was meant to be on mic. That's why I whispered it to Eric. It was nothing about you guys. I'll tell you it after. I can't say it on mic.
Why don't y'all get on Why don't y'all come over here and get on camera?
That is an
Wait,
atrocious southern
well,
accent.
you're gonna have to correct me.
I don't want to.
I did it badly on purpose, so
I
you'll have to
know.
tell me how to do it properly.
Scorch does that too, but not with southern accents. With things like the dishes.
Well, let me read a quote here real quick.
Okay.
How am I supposed to know how to say it? I don't. If you're not,
What? Show me the quote.
I don't know. Find me one. Find me one and tell me to read it.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, I would like to apologize to the little people. I meant Tyrion Lannister
Okay.
when I'm talking about dwarfism.
I don't understand why you folded down some of these pages.
Some of them were folded down because that's where I was when I stopped reading.
You didn't unfold them when you finished when you
no, I
resumed
did,
reading.
but some. Wait, what's this one?
Wait, hold
I'll
on,
tell
hold
you
on,
why
hold
I
on.
folded each one. Really, you're gonna judge
There's a
me
lot of
now?
like eating and vomiting in this
You can't-
book.
I know you can't judge.
Yeah, no, but I was just. Ugh.
That's I highlighted them because they were gross. Like upchuck, which is just a gross word, and it sounds like a second grader on the playground would say that word. It's not what you want in a romance novel.
No, not at all.
Didn't you have
This is also
highlighted
gonna be
parts?
Gross as fuck for some reason.
Well, like the fucking.
It is.
The
Well,
book
that's
we
what
wrote
made me
last
wonder.
week.
Like
We read.
last
We
time.
read a book. We didn't write it. We read a book about fat fetishism last week. It was.
Oh, it's so
I know.
and abuse. It was about fat fetishism and abuse. Like straight
My
up
two favorite things.
physical abuse.
He's like shoving her
Shove her
face
face
into
into a plate of
bacon. She had to
it out,
eat.
Peggy.
She had to eat to get to be
picks her
able to
face up.
breathe.
Bacon grease dripping down her face. Do you love me now?
It was bad. It was really
You should
bad.
read it. It's called, I forget,
It's called Temptation.
Temptation, a fat romance by
It's a BBW
a BBW
romance.
romance by
Oh, BBW paranormal romance.
Yeah, the werewolf.
Because he's a werewolf.
He's just hairy.
He's not. Yeah, he's not a good werewolf. I would take a vampire over a werewolf if
From
that were the
her lore-
werewolf. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go with werewolves on that one.
I just
Not
don't
on that book.
understand. I don't understand your right your
I'll
page fold down
explain
system.
why I folded down individual things.
At least playing video games didn't end up with girls getting pregnant at 13.
Okay, you can see
Nah,
that.
take that.
Not 13, but 15.
Yeah.
That's why I wonder why Granny Neville's teeth fell out a long time ago.
Well, also,
But
like,
their generations are so
what
close.
were her teeth made out of that they could find them with a metal detector? Like, most of the dentures that I've seen don't have metal in them.
Maybe there's silver fillings.
Silver, gold, but that
not grills.
Granny Neville had grills.
She's like, yo, I got me some Elvis Presley jockeys.
If she was hooking up with Elvis.
Sorry. Anyway,
Do you know what podcast this is?
I know, right? Sorry.
Our viewership's going to change.
I know.
We keep doing
We're gonna have
this.
like weird crossover viewership.
Between the Covers Crude Humor podcast. Okay.
All right, I gave this book like a 1 star because it was boring and it sucked.
A one what?
Bleeding Heart.
I'll give her a star because it does take some time to write 300 pages.
Dude,
A what?
a Bleeding Heart. No. It's 1. It's 1 for me, and here's why. I was bored. The characters were not riveting. Like, I wasn't attached to any of the characters. I didn't feel sympathetic towards any of the characters. I didn't connect with the characters. The writing level was laughably
Middle
low.
school.
Yes. Clearly this woman has never actually been to the South, and she's just writing these based off of like assumptions of Southern stereotypes, which irritated me. She clearly had never like sat down and actually done any reading about what computer programming is, because there were no real examples of like
In fact, there were examples that clearly showed she didn't
she has
understand
no
it,
idea, right?
but I forgot to
I know.
crease them.
I totally feel you. And also just her portrayal of the characters was very unbelievable. Like Jack is a hunky, nerdy dude with glasses who spends all of his time programming, playing computer games, or working out in his home gym because that's where he gets all his best ideas.
You don't think nerds work out?
I've dated a lot of nerds. That
Does this nerd work out? Hey,
She's
nerd.
agoraphobic.
Do you work out? Wait, are you a nerd?
yeah, he's not really a nerd. He's more of like a geek. Because he likes Star Wars.
How do you distinct? Oh, he's a geek.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do you deal with a
You're both
Star
fucking
Wars
nerds.
fan?
Are you kidding me?
Ugh.
What?
So you're both
Ex-
fucking nerds.
I'm not a
Excuse me, Scorch.
nerd.
Is your mic on right now? I need to know that before I respond to that.
Yeah, it is on.
Scorch,
Oh,
we're not
really?
nerds.
Okay,
Nerds are ugly.
that's not true. I know a few websites. What?
Wow, and you're not even going to share?
No. It's a hot explosive. You gotta get invited to it.
We're not nerds, are we nerds?
I'm not a nerd.
I'm not a nerd either. We're not nerds.
Yeah, we're
Shut
not
up.
nerds.
You're not nerds. You guys read all the time.
Can the
Fucking
peanut
nerds.
gallery vote on this?
Yeah, Peanut Gallery.
Are we nerds?
Are we nerds?
Pirate. Hey, Mr. Pirate.
Hey,
are we
Scorsese.
nerds? Scorsese. Is that what you call it? All right, Pirate and Scorsese. Are we nerds?
See, he's saying no. He's shaking his head.
Saying yes.
No.
What,
You said
why
no.
are we nerds?
They both said no.
Why are
You
we
guys
nerds?
love reading, you fucking nerds.
Yeah, you're kind of doing like.
Isn't that geekier than
podcast that's all
nerdier?
about books.
I feel like that's geeky.
It's completely normal and not nerdy or geeky to read
And you
books.
play video games.
I don't
Just
play
push your
video
glasses
games.
up.
I'm not talking to you. And do you play video games?
I don't play
All
anymore.
that. You do a bunch of
I
fucking
may have played World of
sewing and
War.
shit. That's old
I
and
played World
nerdy.
of Warcraft for 10 years, but I'm
Yeah,
not a nerd.
oh, okay. Yeah, but
She
you're not a
doesn't
nerd.
play. No. Hold
didn't
on.
raid.
She doesn't play World of Warcraft. She wanders around and does archaeology.
For 10 years?
That's not playing
You're
World of
really not
Warcraft.
I
making a better
I'm-
argument
I'm
for
a
her.
professor.
Sorry.
I have titles.
Less nerdy that she virtually went through
I have
archaeology.
Professor,
Oh,
the
that's what
Explorer. I have an ambassador.
Wait, but do you have a
I lot of titles.
grandmastership in your archaeology?
I think so. I had professor title, which took a while.
You're really only like worsening her argument.
I have a little T-Rex. Oh, I collected pets too.
Oh
forgot
wait,
about that.
me too,
collected
dude.
pets.
I did too. That was awesome. And the mounts, obviously.
Yeah, I would name them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're not
Sorry.
nerds. We've established this.
Totally not nerds.
Oh, I'm not even looking at the camera. Can you do the double camera?
No,
Because we're
no.
done. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
We gave it one bleeding
do
heart.
the camera that looks at both of us.
Well, yeah, that's for the plugs.
And can you move her a little bit so we can see ourselves? Thank you. Okay. I just need to
Oh,
make
I
sure.
do look pale, girl.
I need to make sure I'm at a decent angle because the way this table's set up makes us look wide, even though we're not. So we're gonna sit like this. Okay. So here are some plugs.
You said you were
All
going to
right,
do the
we're
plugs.
Between the Covers Podcast at gmail.com. You can PayPal us. We're at Between the Covers Podcast on Instagram, between_covers on Twitter, and
Yeah.
between_covers on
No.
Patreon. And we're
We have a Patreon? Oh,
no, we
geez.
don't, but we will someday. So
We probably will.
keep an eye out.
We're on Facebook too, remember,
We're on
girl?
Facebook at between_covers at
No, it's
facebook.com.
It's between.
You'll figure it out.
It's Between the Covers
Between the
Podcast
Covers Podcast
on
at
Facebook.
facebook.com, which I do not use. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. She is a Facebook
And
Luddite.
we have our, what are they called? Sponsors.
Yes, that's an
The
empty
Bastard
glass.
Sermon
They're not a
podcast.
sponsor.
Oh,
No.
sorry. Or shout out to the Bastard Sermon podcast, the STC podcast, which we mentioned earlier, and we are not associated with in any way whatsoever. The
Any shape,
Bastard
way, or
Network,
form.
which is our network that we're not associated in any way. I mean, that's our network. And the Havoc Mead, or Grown Film Meadery. Wait, can we say that?
Yeah,
They don't want to be associated, or they do want to be
they do want to be
Okay,
associated.
Havoc Mead. What camera am I looking at? Can you see me? I can't see because your head's in the way. Your head and your braids are in the way.
Maybe Nick should handle this going forward.
Nick's not gonna handle it. I'm gonna handle it. Havoc Meadery, which is a really great meadery from Vermont. If you're in Vermont or Massachusetts, they have distribution in both those states, or you can visit their actual mead hall in Colchester, Vermont. If you visit there, and it's really beautiful, you drive through the mountains and everything. So I definitely recommend it. And I'm thinking about checking it out soon too. So
Oh, you should let me know. I'd like to go
yeah,
with you.
let's go. Okay, so Havoc Mead. Do we have any other sponsors?
We don't do the other one. We are still working on merch.
Quick toothbrush.
Oh my
What are the
God.
other ones? Audible.com.
Yeah, I wish.
Uh,
That would be cool.
so we have some sponsors in the works right now.
Products.
Products.
We have products
We have-
in the work.
Oh, I can't remove this microphone. We have some products in the works right now, and I just happen to be a very amateur graphic designer, so I'm working on some things. So
We'll keep you updated. Keep checking back.
Well,
we'll let you know.
we just need a little bit of an upfront. Check out our Patreon, because then we'll get our money.
What are we
to-
offering on Patreon? Just out of curiosity.
Our Between the Covers shirts.
Is that all?
And
I
a
feel like
podcast.
most of the time on Patreon, people are expecting something a little
So they
grittier.
can get the 5 minutes we recorded before the actual podcast, where I
we
said
should
some,
start doing
some
that, like an
words that were-
unlockable, like 5-minute segment,
They
like
can-
the pre-show.
They can hear the bad
no,
words that I
okay.
said before the podcast that I'm not going to repeat now. So,
Big words.
I'm
Big
Ophelia.
words.
Big words. I'm Nyx, and we're good night.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
I'm not even drunk.
Yeah, right.
Take a hit this night.